Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board once again to yet another vlog from Proudly Motherland, Misterjaay's Reactions channel. Today we are going to keep talking the continent of Africa because there is a wave of reawakening and re-independence taking place all across the continent. Speaking of the continent, the western region of Africa have seen a tremendous move away from former colonial master France by many countries, and today we turn our attention to one of the notorious puppet put in place by France to serve France and not his people. We are going to be looking at the recent declaration made by Senegal's top court, saying President MAcky Sal's decree that postponed the presidential election is unconstitutional. But before we get started, I will like to beg you to take some time and click the subscribe button and turn on your notification. And may the spirits of Motherland be with you. Let's dive right in. On Friday, the 6th of February 2024, the incumbent president of Senegal, His Excellency MAcky Sal, abruptly had a State of Union speech in which he announced he was suspending the planned presidential election scheduled to take place on the 25th of this month until further notice. This announcement threw the country into disarray, as clashes and riots broke out all over the country with major oppositions, leaders coming out to show their disagreement and disappointment to the announcement. Senegal has been one of West Africa's most organized country in terms of peaceful handing over of regimes. Senegal has been a stellar example when it comes to regimes handing over power, and this announcement was like a dagger in the hearts of many citizens of that beautiful country. The only reasons the incumbent leader gave was a flimsy excuse of trying to protect the integrity of the electoral council, an excuse every African knows, especially our brothers and sisters in Senegal know, was just a way to try to remain in power. The true reasons why President MAcky Sal wanted to destabilize a once peaceful country in West Africa is yet to be known. But African political pundits have come out clearly to say President MAcky Sal is just dancing to the tune played by colonial master France. This is true because throughout his tenure in office, we have seen how close MAcky Sal has been with the colonial master, helping and letting them maintain foothold in West Africa. Given the recent wave of anti-French feelings in West Africa, especially in the Sahel region, it is speculated that France wants MAcky Sal stay in power for the time being, while they handpick another puppet who will be servant to France, someone who will do all France asks them to do. Thus that was the reason he wanted to maintain power while he gets directed on who should be his successor from Champs-Élysées in France. That, however, seems to be all wishful thinking for the incumbent leader, as we all saw. Senegalese came out en masse to protest what they called a constitutional coup by a president who was only doing it for his masters and not the wish of his people. Let's have a brief view of MAcky Sal's career, his rise to power, and his blunder to maintain Senegal's tradition of peacefully handing over power to the next. But before we do, I hope you haven't forgotten to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell. Let's have a glimpse of who MAcky Sal truly is. MAcky Sal is a Senegalese politician who has been serving as the president of Senegal since April 2012. He previously served as the Prime Minister of Senegal from 2004 to 2007 and as the President of the National Assembly from 2007 to 2008. Sal is a member of the Alliance for the Republic, APR party. He is known for his efforts to combat corruption, improve the economy, and promote infrastructure development in Senegal. MAcky Sal's rise to the presidency in Senegal is characterized by a series of political maneuvers and strategic decisions. He began his political career in the Senegalese Democratic Party, PDS, serving in various ministerial positions under President Abdoulaye Wade. However, Sal eventually fell out with Wade and was removed from his position as Prime Minister in 2007. Undeterred, Sal founded his own political party, the Alliance for the Republic, APR, in 2008. He ran for president in the 2012 election, presenting himself as a reform candidate and promising to tackle corruption and improve governance. Sal's campaign focused on his experience in government and his vision for a more transparent and accountable administration. In a surprising turn of events, Sal defeated Wade in the second round of the election, marking the first time in Senegal's history that an incumbent president was defeated at the polls. Sal was inaugurated as President of Senegal in April 2012. As president, Sal has implemented several key reforms, including efforts to improve transparency in government, strengthen the rule of law, and promote economic development. He has also been praised for his efforts to improve Senegal's infrastructure and expand access to education and healthcare. Overall, MAcky Sal's rise to the presidency in Senegal is a testament to his political acumen and his ability to connect with voters. His presidency has been marked by a commitment to reform and a vision for a more prosperous and equitable Senegal. Are you still with us? Okay, let's get back to the topic. So, after trying to stay in power and handpicking a successor who will continue following and dancing to the tunes played by his masters, President MAcky Sal finds out that there are still some people in Senegal who truly love their fatherland. Senegal's Constitutional Council has declared unconstitutional the government's decision to postpone the presidential election, originally set for February 25th, and reschedule it for December. The council's judgment, approved by 7 members and reported by the Associated Press, nullified President MAcky Sal's decree, issued earlier in the month that delayed the election. Similarly, the National Assembly's resolution on February 5 to push the vote to December 15 was deemed unconstitutional. In its ruling, the council emphasized the fixed nature of the 5-year presidential term and stated that, due to the impossibility of holding the election on the initially scheduled date, the competent authorities should organize it as soon as possible. Opposition leaders have welcomed the court's decision, considering it a step towards restoring Senegal's democratic process. Aminata Touré, a former prime minister who has joined the opposition, described the ruling as a move to get Senegal back on track. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which had urged President Sall to adhere to the election timetable, noted the court's decision in a statement issued on Friday. ECOWAS called on all stakeholders in the electoral process to respect the court's ruling and urged the competent authorities to set a new date for the presidential election in accordance with the decision. The postponement of the election has led to political unrest in Senegal, typically considered one of the most stable countries in West Africa. 3 people have been killed and numerous arrests made during protests. Opposition groups and civil society organizations have renewed calls for demonstrations, with a peaceful march organized by a civil society collective planned for Saturday. Who do you think is behind this careless move to try to unconstitutionally orchestrate a coup in Senegal? Do you think MAcky Sal acted alone? Do you think he anticipated the massive backlash his people were going to give? Do you also think he was just dancing to the tune of his colonial masters in Europe? Thank you for watching, and please do not forget to leave your comments and let us know what you think. Thank you once again for coming. Please keep watching. It's time for Africa to rise above mediocre puppets the West implanted all across the continent.